Hello, everybody. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul, where your whole health matters. I am your host, Jemima Godsall, and my co-host, beautiful Darcy Marta. Hello. And each week we bring you conversations, topics, just things regarding your whole health. So, an ambassador for Theraexpressions Meditation in Casper, Wyoming. Check them out, therapeutic.com, where they're to mental health matters particularly. And this week, just before we get started, I always do forget, sorry, the disclaimer down below, guys, have to be done. And also there is, more importantly, a 988 number for US residents regarding mental health and suicide prevention. You're never alone, but there's also European and Australian 1-800 numbers down there. So please know you can always reach out to someone. And this week, this topic, we're both feeling a little low today. I've got a little bit of a headache, so my energy is like, I can feel it. It's just different. It's very strange. But anyway, I would like
We're
to bring
having
up
a low biorhythm
low
day.
biorhythm day. Totally.
Low biorhythm.
Darcy showed up. She wasn't feeling well this morning. She's still here. Isn't she amazing? Round of applause. Round of applause, please, everyone. So today I'd like to talk about self-esteem. Like, what does that actually mean? It's promoted commercially within society. But, it can go up and down and in and out. It depends on the day. It can depend on people's influence, opinions, I beg your pardon, which it shouldn't. But, it does sometimes if you're feeling low biorhythm day, for example.
Right.
So what is this thing called self-esteem? And I don't know. I don't know why I wanted to talk about this. I just thought it was an interesting topic because I thought, my self-esteem feels good. But I think if anyone came and said something to me, my self-esteem could crash because I feel like low biorhythm. My energy's low. I feel like kind of oof. And I was thinking, what does that mean? What is that? Why does that affect my self-esteem per se? What is society built up this thing called self-esteem around? And do we feel like we need to reach a certain thing, like reach a status quo, to have a self-esteem? You know what I mean? Like, it kind of stopped me in my steps. And I thought, is that just a socialized? Are they just socialized words now? And we have this false idea around what self-esteem really is. You answer me, people. I'm not going to just sit here and listen to that.
Those are all really good questions, right? Those are good questions. Because self-esteem it's something you have to build, and there's some personality types that like myself, that are always feeling like I have to do better. I've been taught that oh, you can't do that. You're the littlest, or you're the youngest, or you can't do that. You're just you or whatever. And, so I wasn't taught self-esteem. I had to learn it later. I had to build it. And yeah, the wrong person can come into my sphere and totally blow my self-esteem sometimes. And I have to just really look at that. Or I can make a mistake doing something and my self-esteem will take a big hit. And I have
to. Before we go on, how would you define what for you? What does self-esteem mean? Does it mean feeling good about yourself, all around? Does it mean feeling successful? That's the thing about, I was thinking, self-esteem. There's so many ways you can look at self-esteem. Like but it holds all of it. That those bundled words just seem to hold it all. And it's like that's why it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I think self-esteem, of course, has to be rooted, number one, in self-love. Mm-hmm. Right. And understanding your value as a human being, not in terms of your job and not in terms of your monetary worth, but in terms of your value as a human being. And then also your boundaries, having strong boundaries in the world, be based on your value, self-value. And your self-love. And then
I think that can be where people get confused, because I think people can see self-esteem as a monetary value. Like they can play the role that they have, their personality is their job type thing. That's a parallel thing. Whereas their self-esteem can be much how they make, it's like that's so.
And it's so dangerous because unless it's your company. If you're working for somebody, your job is about as stable as a California earthquake territory. I mean, it's not so stable, and I've seen this happen to older people middle-aged men have a really hard time with this. They work for a company for a really long time. They get to a certain level, and then the company gets sold and they get dumped. And it's like, who am I now? I put all my identity and self-esteem into this job that no longer exists. Happens to women, of course, too. Definitely happens to people who put their self-esteem outside of themselves, right? As a mother,
right, yeah.
your kids grow up and go away and they don't call you anymore, or, right? Get a divorce. Have your spouse
Yes.
dump you for somebody who's younger, prettier, smarter, faster, whatever, better-ish. And that concept, so we're thinking, oh, that person broke up with me because they wanted, a newer, prettier, younger model, or a richer, faster model. Yeah. And that's, so the self-esteem takes a hit, but all those things are conditions that are trying to teach the person about their own value and their own boundaries. A friend of mine just got a new job, and she was feeling about the job because she hadn't really talked to her new boss. She was hired through the HR and all this different stuff. Anyway, the new boss was not a very nice person, and they kept talking down to her, really like she was a little kid. This is a 50-something-year-old woman, and here's this guy talking down to her. She asked him a question, and he's like, have you ever used Google? Have you ever used Google? You know how it works? You can look things up just like nasty stuff. And she's going, check mark 1. And then he did something like that. She goes, check mark 2. So her self-value, she said, she decided that his behavior was not going to dictate or affect her self-esteem. And when he did cross the line one more time in the most egregious way, like he called her and yelled at her for something. I mean, she's brand new working with him. She doesn't even know all their policies yet. He called her and yelled at her in a really inappropriate way, but yelling is inappropriate.
Yeah.
And then he said something to the effect of, well, you just don't have a choice in this. And she said, oh, excuse me. Yes, I do. And she hung up on him, and she emailed HR and said, here's my resignation letter.
Oh, wow. Good on her.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if that was the beginning of their relationship, oh my, get out now, like full on. What a shame, though.
What a shame. And so, and as we get older, looking for a job is very difficult because there's so many conditions on us as older women, and older men also have the same issues, of course, being older and looking for work, what you can do. People look at you like, how long are you going to last before you want to retire? And, and are you up there with the ability to, stay modern and relevant because you're from a past generation? And it affects people's self-esteem. So working on your self-value as a human being, and not by your, how financially successful you are, or how successful you are within your career path, or this or that, or relationships. Setting your boundaries and knowing what works for you and what doesn't is really important. It's really important.
It's challenging, isn't it? Because I think society has inbred in us that it's, the status, the financial status, the everything outside us, to a point. Because that's probably why I brought this up conversation, because I took a step in my career the other day, which affected my self-esteem, but it was my career, and I was going, why do I feel so much better about myself in a way? Like I feel better about things. And I thought that shouldn't be the case. I mean, and then I thought, can I bring it back to myself? And why it was because I was actually I was shifting things and doing, so I actually was able to get back into myself and appreciate I'm moving and I'm doing something for myself. And it became more about me then, but initially it was like, oh my God, it was about my career. And I'm going, that's weird though. It shouldn't be. I felt so awkward about it until I was able to I had the conscious awareness, which people don't, had the conscious awareness to step back literally take the steps back to say, what is it actually that I'm proud of? Why am I feeling good about myself? What's happening? And it was the society, I think, that made me feel like it was because I took a step in my career that made me feel that I saw the facade of the career helped me feel good about me. But it wasn't really. It was actually the actions within me that was affecting my self-esteem. But I was, but it was mistaken for something external rather than came into.
Yeah, exactly. We get those two things confused. Although, if you are saying, wow, this career path that I've chosen, which seems to be working and moving forward, is feeling really good, then that means you're probably in line with your truth, your inner calling and your where you want to be and how you want to be spending your time, and it's what really feels like a reflection of you. So in effect, your career can be a reflection of your self-esteem, as long as it is not your sole driver of your self-esteem, because careers come and go, they change and they evolve and they disappear and all that kind of stuff. So it can't be the driving force. But when you feel really aligned with what you're doing, then that really is a great boost for your self-esteem, because then you're like, oh, I feel like I'm in the right place, Yeah.
It's amazing how like this conscious awareness, that the practicing conscious awareness, people just don't do it. People don't know how to do it.
We don't know how to do it.
Yeah, don't know how to do it, or don't even know that exists. When people say conscious awareness, they're like don't understand, but how it's so necessary, because the society's government, the advertising, all that sort of stuff has brainwashed us to a point, and we don't even know until we get awakened to a level or enlightened to a level, and we go, wow, that's what, hang on, I didn't even know that was going, I didn't even know that was what was happening until I step outside, something wakes you up,
Right.
And it's just
but that's how people make money, is off of low self-esteem.
Oh yeah.
The lower your self-esteem is, the easier it is for me to sell you something, right? The chances are,
chocolate,
clothes. I mean, so much stuff.
It's so true, isn't it? Because it's like people who get on and shop and just like they feel down and bluesy, they become like what is it, on eBay and stuff, and just press to get that feeling of good stuff to themselves. But that's a whole brainwash.
Joining a gym, becoming, a gym, what do they call it? Gym rats, just hanging out at the gym, doing everything about this and that, exercise, now you got to eat right. Now you got to buy all these products. Now you got to go and do this class, and now you got to do that, get this. Now you got to go on vacation. When was the last time you went on a vacation? I mean, it just, all that kind of stuff is the lower your self-esteem, that's what advertising is all about. We want to show the happy, healthy, wealthy family that goes on the happy, healthy, wealthy family vacation. We want to show, successful young people with their credit cards that they can buy their fantastic new cars and this and that. I mean, it's geared towards making sure you don't feel good about yourself. That way we can sell you something.
So sad, isn't it? Who wrote this book of our life? Who wrote this government commercial advertising manipulation? When did it start? Like, I know it's been around forever, but like, who was the one? Is that just human? It just baffles me. Like, why couldn't we have gone the other way and been much more inspiring and encouraging? And it's amazing. Like, I just go like, when did this start and when's it going to stop? And I don't think it will. It never will.
It won't. It can't, because we have the gross domestic product to work with, and it's a snake eating its own tail, and then it's capitalism and it's corporate takeover from the 1950s. I mean, there's so many answers to that question that you just asked. When did this start? And so, but what you said was really important, is that conscious awareness, that for you to say, wow, I feel so much better about myself because my career just took a jump forward. It's not about my career. It's about the fact that I'm vibrating on this path with this activity that I'm doing. And if tomorrow there are no more opportunities on this path, can I still maintain my self-esteem? And can I still find myself doing what I love to do?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. If you took it away from me tomorrow, would I still have my self-esteem? That's a vital question for anyone who's feeling good. Like, if they took that away, what you're feeling good about, or within, would you still be able to feel this way tomorrow? I mean, my answer is yes, that's great. But if I thought it was about my career, maybe if I didn't stop with conscious awareness and take the steps back to say, why do I actually really feel good? Then I probably would have gone, oh my God, I don't know, would I? Freak out and go. But it really takes practicing that conscious awareness of, like, coming back to yourself with love, or to the situation with love, and really work it out. Not the external stuff, it's the internal, and how it's affecting you and how you can respond or react or be within society. It's just
I mean, and also there's a collective consciousness as well. And right now in America particularly, women's self-esteem is getting a big kick in the booty because of all this different legislation towards a fundamental, primary part of the woman's physiology and psyche, the ability to procreate or not. I mean, if you really look at this metaphysically, right, that our bodies are the beginning of a new life, right? You can't have a baby without a mommy. You can't do it. You can try to do it in a test tube, but it's not going to work, right? And so by restricting a woman's ability to work with that energy on their own, in their own way, is a way of controlling that creative power force, right? And it really, really affects a woman's self-esteem, really affects a woman's self-esteem, because she's got people now belittling her power and saying that you may not choose to do what you want to do with your personal power. And I'm concerned for the young women, us older women who lived with Roe v. Wade for all these years and have had the freedom to choose to have a family or not. Or like my sister could have died in her second pregnancy. She had an ectopic pregnancy, right? She could have died. But she was saved because they could do that kind of procedure with no questions, no problems. These young women now are faced with, you are not allowed to make any decisions about yourself as a woman. The fundamental aspect that creates the fact that you are a woman, right? So this is going to really affect a lot of young women's self-esteem, is what I'm concerned about, because it makes women into second-class citizens again. And that's something we really have to look at with the younger women coming up, is to make sure we build them up and let them understand that this has nothing to do with them as women, that this is all about politics and power.
Here we go again. Oh, that's another whole topic we could talk about.
A whole nother topic, but it does go back to that whole idea of self-esteem, right? It really does.
Yeah. So, Darcy, do you have a card to pull for us today?
I do. I did.
Yeah, I saw you shuffling. Does a few pop out there?
Yeah. Look, I'm such low.
I know.
I'm like,
I'm like, hello, Sandy card. Don't mind. It's be so we turn out 100% authentic. That's the idea. There's like, we're not going to ever not turn up authentically, but this is just one of those days.
It's one of those days. Our little lingering headaches in the back, sinusitis. Like, okay, I'm right there, Jemima. All right. So I just decided to pick a card based on our conversation, or let a card come to me based on our conversation. And so 2 cards have come out. I'm going to read the second one.
Okay.
And I'm using the angel cards because I haven't done those in a while.
You haven't, have you? Yeah, beautiful.
And these are by Radley Valentine. Yep, Radley Valentine. Okay, so these are his angel cards. And so I picked 2 of fire.
Okay.
2 of fire, and it says, You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. That's
Sweet.
a nice. Congratulations. Oh, no, wait. This is a time of coming into your own. The steps you are taking to improve your career or business are on the right track. As you move forward, courageous choices are necessary and will be rewarded. Continue forging ahead and don't be discouraged by temporary delays. Also, don't allow anyone to hinder your progress. Consider working in partnership with those whose skills complement your own. Joint endeavors can help you achieve your goals. Negotiations move smoothly at this time. Additional meanings of this card are, there it is, Two of Fire, excellent foresight, hope for the future, contracts and business agreements, great potential, and controlled progress.
Perfect. Love it.
Perfect.
That's going to build my self-esteem.
That's good for your self-esteem. That's right. Always good news. Yeah, always good news. So there you go.
What was the other card, Darcy?
The other card was the world, and it's along the same lines. Here's the world card.
Beautiful. Love the world.
And it says, a job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude. This is the path toward enlightenment.
Beautiful. That's that. I think that comes to the conscious connection, consciously aware. Like, you know, that is enlightenment. That's a form of enlightenment. Conscious awareness is a form of enlightenment. You know what I mean? And I had no concept of that 3 years ago. Wouldn't know what the hell I was talking about. Darcy, you're amazing. Thank you so much for showing up. Like, you are such an inspiration. And people, we love you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And a solar eclipse on Wednesday, if you're watching this live, and a new moon in Aries. Happy celebrations to you. It's going to be heavy energy. Like, look at us. But take care of your beautiful selves, and we'll be back next week. Mwah. Thank you, Darcy. You're amazing.
My
I love
pleasure.
you. Bye, everybody. Take care. Bye.